My name's Ivan Hull. I'm from a company called Provence Platters. I'm the CEO and designer, and we're based in New York City. I was in a wine cave in Barossa Valley in South Australia, and I saw against a wall an old platter that had been nailed together, and it gave me a great idea that we could turn this something into a sophisticated product with iron handles and bring it to the US. I'd like to introduce to you Provence Platters. These are made in New York, and they're made from old French wine barrels that come from Bordeaux, Burgundy, and also from Napa. The oak is 200 years old, most probably planted around Napoleon's time. As you can see, the red wine on the back, it's still here, the stain. When we get these barrels, we pull them apart. They're made up of like 8-9 pieces of strips of oak that are saturated in red wine. You can smell the red wine for at least 3 months. We dry these out for about 6 months in our workshop upstate New York. After they're dry, we completely plane and join the joints, and then using a Swiss biscuit system, which is a little like a doweling but much more sophisticated, we go and hold all these together. They then get hydraulically pressed with glue, and then you end up with this beautiful seamless French oak, totally regenerated, cheese board, food board, platter. Cut your turkey on it if you want, whatever you want to use it for. We also retain, in most cases, the original Cooper's mark. In this case, it's Francois Frere. There's Natalie, there's Seguin Moreau, some of the beak ones. So it gives it the authentic touch of what it was originally when it was aging wine. The reason we were able to use these, the oak in the wine barrel only imparts the flavor to the wine for 4 seasons, which really translates to 4 years. Then they're basically useless. Once upon a time, they used to be sent to Germany, Holland for planters. You'd see wine barrels cut into half with trees in them. We think we've found a way better use for it, to give this oak tree another 200 years of life if you look after it. What I think people find amazing about Provence Platters, or different, is that the underside still is drenched in the red wine, dry of course, but still has that red wine patina, and that the fact that we finish it in handmade beeswax, which is food safe. I think people find those two things the most interesting aspects. This is a huge piece of beeswax that, comes out of a hive, of course, that we put into layers. We use this, which we melt in like a bain-marie, and we add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil to make it a bit more viscous when we're putting it onto the wood. You can have it with a Lazy Susan. This is a Lazy Susan that will take 450 pounds of weight. So you could put your husband on it and spin him around if you like, if you're so interested. And this is how this works. It's a beautiful mechanism. You can attach it or have it loose, and then you could take it off and take it outside if you were going to go outside and continue your party or your entertaining. The story that comes to mind is we had a great job for a wedding, $1 million wedding out in the Hamptons, and they'd ordered 65 round platters, older ones, and Three days before the ceremony, they found out that the tables weren't round, that they were rectangle, so we had to cut these beautiful boards into rectangle pieces so they would suit the tables. That was quite an extraordinary event for us. It's part of globalization, where we can bring in 200-year-old regenerated wood from France, Bordeaux, into Brooklyn or New York, and using 21st century technology, turn this into a very sophisticated platter. This couldn't have happened 20 years ago. I think that's the most interesting part of the technology of this product. I think the most unique thing is that it's 200-year-old French oak, and that we're able to regenerate this into a very useful accessory into a home, and possibly get another 200 years out of it. My personal favorite of Provence Platters is, beside the fact that they're 200 years old, oak, regenerated. I love all these different markings we see over the years of the original coopers who made the barrels. That's what I like most about the product. Now that you've received your Provence platter from the Grommet Company, I hope you're going to have some great evenings with friends, celebrating with cheese, bread, and wine.